Mixties presents the Popcast.
Hey, my name is Brian, and this is Shane, and this is the Popcast, and today, you know what day it is. It's Wednesday, so we're reviewing and recapping last night's America's Got Talent, episode 2 of season 12. And bear with me today. I am sick, and I'm pretty sure Shane is well. So this might be an interesting show today. Shane?
Well, I mean, yeah, you're always sick, but today you're physically sick, so that's cool.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, great.
Hey,
How are you?
dude,
I'm not in a mental place to deal with your wit today. Sorry.
Listen, man, after last night's episode, I've decided that me and Oscar here, check out Oscar, guys. This is Oscar. Me and Oscar, we're going to be on America's Got Talent season 13, and we're going to win it all. Isn't he cute?
No, actually, you'll probably win one episode because Heidi has a thing for dogs and kids. And then the next episode, when you do the same exact thing, they're going to be like, well, it was fun, and they'll let you leave. That's what always happens. 12 seasons of this stuff, man. Okay?
Yeah. Oscar is a poodle, and I think we're just gonna come walk out on stage and see if we can kill someone with his cuteness.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Someone in the audience just dies. Every episode, someone dies.
Right. Yeah. A new person, and we see who it could be because he's so cute. Because he can't count. That's for sure. I gotta tell you, that was pretty crazy last night. That dog counting.
Well,
I mean, how did it read a card? 20. It was 20, and it barked 20 times. I mean, is that right?
You trained to see like a shape. Look,
maybe. Yeah.
Here's the deal. I want to start the show off with saying, well done, AGT, because already less Tyra.
Oh man! Before we get into it, did you hear that Tyra is being sued?
No. What happened?
Already? Actually, the company that actually insures them is being sued. So apparently, Tyra left a child traumatized, and somebody is saying that she physically manipulated a contestant's young daughter.
What?
Yeah, for sure, bro. They're talking about it, and basically what it is there's an 18-page lawsuit that was filed in Los Angeles on Tuesday, May 23rd, so a couple weeks ago. And basically it talks about how a woman was performing with her husband on stage, and they were singing a song. It was basically about having their daughter, and the daughter was backstage with Tyra. And I guess so they're singing, like, celebrating their birth of their daughter. And Tyra was in the back, and apparently she, like, shook the child by the shoulder, and something about, moving her hair. Did something that was apparently uncomfortable to the child, but she said she was fearful and didn't want to stop her. And then she said something to her, she said it was basically an abusive experience and she was emotionally distressed. Basically, it was like in front of the cameras, Tyra said something to the effect of that her birth was an accident, and then wanted her to comment on her parents' performance on stage after they'd already been buzzed, X'd, and humiliated by the judges.
Wow.
More to come. Tyra, way to go, Tyra. You just started.
Yeah. So wait, if it was filmed you said it was October?
May 23rd is when the lawsuit was filed. So it they must have had some time. And so these people.
So we haven't seen that episode yet.
No, we haven't seen the episode yet. It's coming up. And these people, the people who, not everybody's a good sport about being humiliated. Some people don't see it coming. They think they're actually good. Every once in a while you get those people that think they're talented and they're not. Nobody told them the truth. And apparently these people decided they were going to do something about it. So,
well, whether you're talented or not, traumatizing a child to invoke an emotional response on camera is downright disgusting.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we don't know exactly how much of that is, them just being mad, and we're going to see the episode. Apparently, the producers have agreed to strike a lot of the footage. They said that they're still going to show the parents singing that act. They're still going to show that. They're said, no, we're not getting rid of that. So apparently, I think that's what they were going for, was to try to get him to strike that.
So they're going to strike the footage where Tyra actually physically traumatizes the child.
Right. I think they're going to strike the child's footage.
That's dirty. That's super dirty. Sorry.
So I don't know if that's what these people wanted. I'm not sure if America's Got Talent and Tyra, if they're actually culpable. But obviously, if something's happening, you didn't handle it 100% the correct way. So that's where I'll go with that.
Well, I really hope that they show the footage in pure transparency and don't let that this publicized lawsuit speak on its own while you cover up footage of your new host possibly doing something untoward.
Yeah, absolutely. So
it's only going to give AGT a bad name. Because guess what? Tyra can be fired and someone else can be brought in. But you taint the AGT name and the production company behind AGT, that's going to be worse than losing a host.
Yeah, and there was a lot less Tyra this episode, like we talked about.
Yes, and thank you, the gods of AGT. Listen to my prayers. I was down on my knees praying for less Tyra, and there was definitely less.
You got it.
It opened up with like the host, the judges driving motorcycles. Super cheese.
Oh, when they in the intro.
Yeah,
that was weird, huh?
Yeah, I felt nothing about it. It's typical AGT. I've seen intros in the past that were a little cooler, but hey, whatever. Howard comes down the little motorcycle. That was whatever. Wasn't bad.
I like that we got more honest Simon Cowell. I mean, he's always pretty honest. I think he's been a little nice lately, but last night he pulled out the steak knives on a couple of people and carved them up, even a child act.
Yeah, I mean, and kudos to him because he was right. I mean, I don't know what to say.
Well, Simon Cowell is almost always right. He just is.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what it is about that guy, but after all those years of American Idol, America's Got Talent, he's usually right. So.
Okay, so I agree with you. Let's start at the top. The first act that we saw was the counting dog.
Right.
And while it's a
Mi amor,
right. Well, I think it's a very cool party trick and something that's really cool to show your family at the reunion or Thanksgiving. It's certainly not worth $1 million because that's the only trick the dog does. And I really think that when they hand out those passes to the next level, that they should consider that. And I think that some of the judges do, but I think that certain judges don't consider that whatsoever. They just see a cute dog doing something cool and they go, okay. Because the dog the dog can only count. He can only count up to 50.
Talk back while you talk about it.
Okay. That's the one trick the dog does. He doesn't do anything else. And it's cool at best. It's not like amazing. It's really cool that you taught this dog how to do this. But that's the one act it has. So what's it going to do next week? Is it going to do arithmetic? Or are we going to see it doing multiple division or something? I don't know.
Can't do that. They're not going to have time for that. It's just like the chicken. It's a one-act show. We've seen what it can do. It's amazing. I mean, the question really is there a place for this in this show?
No. The answer is no.
As far as the competition level, you're right. Obviously they can't compete. But should America see it? Is this the place where they showcase it? I don't know.
Well, here's my problem with this, is that by giving the dog a slot, you're taking a slot potentially from someone that deserves the slot, from someone that deserves to compete.
Do you think that's the case?
Well, let's talk about, I'm not sure how you felt about this guy, but the hand balance guy with the blow-up doll.
Uh-huh.
Okay, I was laughing my head off, and considering how sick I have been yesterday and today, it actually hurt to laugh.
Blow-up doll. Yeah.
I gotta say, it was so funny to me Because I've seen 12 seasons of hand balancing acts that were frankly a little boring. To see this guy making fun of them by doing all the classic hand balance things with the blow-up doll, it was hilarious. I mean, it was really, really funny, dude.
Yeah.
And when Heidi said it was boring, no. Okay. First of all, entertainment is subjective. But entertainment, especially comedy, is subjective. This guy deserves to show us what he has next time. Right? Most of the audience was laughing. 2 of the judges were laughing. It was funny enough, definitely, to go through. But instead of giving him a slot, we gave the dog who can count to 50 a slot.
Well, I mean, that's if there's a certain number of slots. I don't think that's the case because this show, unlike other shows where there's only a certain number of spaces, they go to Vegas and then they immediately, in a big hangar, cut like half of the people that are there. And then the other half get to go on and perform. So I think there's a lot of gimme slots. So I wouldn't say they're necessarily taken away from somebody else. It's just they don't have a realistic chance of winning, so why put them through? You know, it's like, what did Howie let somebody through yesterday? He said, "Well, I don't like it." Oh, the guys who were doing like the crazy, knocking nails into wood and stuff like that. You know,
Oh, yeah.
He didn't want to like him. He didn't want to let him through, but he said, "Oh, America liked it, so let's let him through." I think that has a lot to do with it.
That's the right response, though. Howie had the right response. People like it. I didn't. In my opinion, I think it's dumb, but people liked it. So
I loved when he did the handstand on her head, and she deflated.
And she deflated.
Yeah, because at first I'm like, all right, this is dumb. You know, when it was coming down, and I'm like, but he sold it, man. He sold it. He was 100% believed. You know, made it believable for him.
Straight face. He's doing all the classic hand balance things. Like,
I mean, I don't know if he's got anything else next week or next time. Either.
But but he might, dude.
Yeah. It's not as impressive as a dog that can count. I mean, in my opinion, I think that's pretty amazing. But he might be able to do another show, something else with a blow-up doll or something.
He might have something else where he makes fun of like the status quo and like the way certain things. I don't know. All I know is that I was laughing and I saw potential there, and I saw potential for multiple shows. Not, all right, let's count to 10, dog. This is cool. All right, enough about the dog. It was a cool trick, or it was a cool skill. But I don't think it deserved a slot because I don't think it can do anything else.
Got you. And there's a few of those. Yeah.
What about the dancing group with the big, 2-ton wedge thing?
That was interesting. I actually have an opinion on that. I think that, unfortunately, the way it's shot on stage for TV audiences is going to really hurt them.
Right.
It seemed like it must have been a really impressive thing to watch, but they cut away so much to close-ups to what was happening. I never felt like I got a good feel for the entire act performance. I wasn't, I didn't get to really understand until like the second or third time somebody leapt and fell into people's arms what was exactly happening. So I feel like a lot was lost to us at home.
I feel the same way. I feel like we saw some really cool Circus Soleil kind of thing, and it was really hard to make out though because they kept cutting the reactions of Tyra Banks and like Howie Mandel and
the judges.
Yeah, we missed a lot of it. So hopefully we'll see more in the coming weeks. My one thing is I'm worried about, like, that was a really cool thing that we didn't really get to see a lot of. What are they going to do next week? They can't use another wedge. They can't do the same thing. It's got to be something new, fresh. They got to have like 5 acts where it's fresh enough and advanced enough to continue on. I'm not sure how it's going to work out.
They said they work with different items, so maybe they have a few already put together. They're going to need it. You're right, because to choreograph that thing, to know every step where every person is, must have taken a lot of time for them to do that originally.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So we're good on that. Okay. What about Chase Goring?
Chase Goring.
Was certainly not boring.
I was totally impressed with that guy.
Yeah. Dude.
I was totally impressed.
The singing this is what I wrote. The singing, rapping ginger kid was very crazy talented.
Yeah, I was kind of prepared for him to have a good voice and be talented, but I really wasn't prepared for quite how sweet his voice was. His voice was very sweet. It seems like it could really play with today's type of music. It felt very, I wouldn't say 21 Pilots-y, but kind of that whole genre of where you sing. And then when he broke into rap, I was like, okay. And he sold it. I mean, it was believable and good. And it's his song. I mean, I could hear that song on the radio now.
That's the crazy thing right there, is that was a self-written, unique, totally original song that this kid wrote that didn't only sound good, it had a really cool vibe. I mean, I would buy it. If there was an album of that, I would buy it today. That whole acoustic sort of, it's really hard. It's a little bit of rap, a little bit of acoustic lounge type thing. I mean, it was really cool. It was really cool. I loved it. It was really, really
I'm not surprised if Simon, right after the show, went up and signed him, said, I'm signing you. Okay, I know you already signed up for this, so I own you anyways. But the title of the song was Hurt, and sung by Chase Goring. And don't be surprised, folks, if you hear that on the radio in about 6 months.
Yeah, and I hope this whole album. I would buy it in a heartbeat. I wouldn't even pirate it. I would buy it outright.
Yeah.
Okay. And then so that was great. Love Chase Goring. I put a little check mark next to him. I feel like if he keeps that going, we're gonna see a lot of him.
I think so. Yeah.
Next up after that was the hand balance guy. We talked about him in effort. Again, funny. He did not get through. That sucks, but he didn't go through.
Yeah. He's like you know what? Wait. You know what? The act from the first week that didn't go through. He only got 2 votes as well. The other funny guy who came out
of the bag with the dress on. Yeah.
So this is 2 weeks in a row now. We've had somebody that's a little slapstick humor that didn't make it through.
Yeah, and you know what's crazy is they show the whole performance, and then it just dies really quickly.
Heidi's going to need to let one of these guys through one of these times.
We'll see. I mean, to be honest, I don't think Heidi's right. I mean, her judging skills are to be desired lately.
She loved the next act you're going to talk about.
Yeah, Artin and Paige.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So here's what I have to say about them. We'll see you guys in 10 years. You're not ready for it now.
Yeah, I mean they're kids. Simon X'd them. It's funny because we were talking about it, and I think my wife said something like, I don't think they would ever X the kids, right? And I'm like, I honestly, I know they have in the past. I know that that Howard used to X kids, no problem. But I kind of didn't think Simon was like that anymore. So when he X'd him, I was like, I was a little surprised.
I mean, they still got through though.
Of course they got through because there were a lot of things happening right there. So
there wasn't a lot happening. The act was weak. It was
right, but there was a statement to be made. The little boy was very talented, but I think that there was a thing about acceptance and interracial, the interracial aspect to it. Yeah, but it's the way it is these days, and they were cute and they were, who doesn't love the Barbie girl song, right? Obviously,
I don't. It's super
obviously
annoying.
Simon doesn't like it, right?
The song is annoying. The act was weak. It wasn't choreographed well. The boy had talent. The girl had almost none, except for.
It seemed actually a little inappropriate for little kids.
For kids, the girl had a lot of spirit, but very little dancing skills. The boy had more dancing skills, not as much spirit. It wasn't a good act. It just wasn't. I mean, dollars are dollars. It was a waste of a slot. Again, and it shows the extreme bias from Heidi to allow anything cute to come through, regardless of its skill level or not. And this is a talent show. So you have to have talent to move on. And that wasn't, there was no talent there. It was a couple cute kids.
They can't compete. Yeah, they won't be able to compete. I mean, we've had other kids on that were more talented dancing acts.
Oh, dude, the dancing acts from not the last season, the two the salsa dancing kids. Wow. Yeah. Remember that? Like they had some talent, bro.
There we go. I think it was season 8. Yeah.
No, season 8. I'm sorry. Yeah, extreme talent, and they didn't even get They did I think they got to do 3 of them. So whatever, it does bother me that they give these token slots away though, because that's really what they are. They're just token cute slots that aren't going to do anything and go anywhere. So
right. No, you're right. They're going nowhere. They're going to be cut in Vegas when they go split the hangar. You guys over here, thanks for coming. I always thought that was weird. Make them fly all the way to Vegas and then cut them.
Yeah, at least they get a free trip to Vegas, I guess.
I guess a couple days in the hotel.
All right, and yeah, so that's enough of them. I mean, I don't really have anything else to say. You got anything more to say about that?
I really don't. Yeah.
So what about the science guy?
Boy, I'm really mixed on that one.
I'm mixed too.
Yeah, I wanted to be impressed with what was happening, and granted, I've never heard the deep voices before. I actually looked it up. It's a really complicated gas that's used to make your voice deep. It's like a soda hydrocarbon or something like that. I have to look it back up again. But what was funny about it is it actually says that it's like not good for you to inhale that. It's right. So I don't know. Maybe
that gas to inhale is just as bad as inhaling helium. It's the same thing.
Which we've all done. We've all done it.
Yeah, so. It's not going to kill them. They don't do it. They're not breathing it in nonstop. But yeah, it's not good for your vocal cords. You're dilating in the wrong way.
I think we were distracted by the judges' excitement that they got to hear their voices deepened. I think that took over the whole act. And then when he went to do kind of the bigger things, I wasn't impressed by the combining of chemicals to
hydrogen
create
peroxide and boron. Yeah,
that was kind of weird.
So
I did like the big explosion that Howie was in. That was cool, but I just don't know if it's $1 million show.
Yeah. So here's where I'm at. I'm in a similar place. I really hope that this guy does something next week or not next week, but like next time he's on.
Yeah.
That is better than the previous one, because I think that this is an act that we need in America's Got Talent. Is a cool science act. I miss the old Bill's not a science guy stuff, I think we can do some really cool stuff with that, but his science was rudimentary, like at best,
Well, what do you do with it now that you've had these giant explosion? I mean, where do you go with this act where you can do more with it? I mean, you can only do so many explosions where people's like, woohoo, it's like a fireworks show. The first few minutes are really cool, but then it's like, all right, yeah. He can just waiting for it to be over.
He can do more if the science gets a little more advanced. I gotta say, the Howie explosion at the end, it's literally just hot water in LN2, liquid nitrogen. They poured liquid nitrogen into a trash can, and they threw hot water in it. That's all it was. So that cloud of smoke, that's just that's the liquid nitrogen expanding. You can do the same thing with dry ice. You can do the same thing. You can get that at the grocery store. It's very simple science. It's hot water.
I don't know if you can get the explosion that big though with
LN2. Yeah, and there's a place by my work that sells LN2. You get yourself a Duar. LN2 is liquid nitrogen. It's the safe version of liquid nitrogen. And you pour enough into that trash can with the hot water, and it expands, ultra expands.
We should test that outside your house and just see what happens.
I've done it. I used to play with liquid nitrogen all the time. It's super unsafe without gloves, but it's fun. Yeah,
don't do that at home. No, we're not going to do it.
I poured liquid nitrogen in my buddy's pool, and the entire pool will have this giant, thick cloud of smoke over it. It's just nothing special to me. I mean, it is something special, but it's not like a science that makes you think, And if you want to do a show, you have something that makes you think. I think they need to set up some kind of chaos machine.
Yeah, a contraption where the chemicals combust to move things around. That would be cool.
That would be cool, like a chaos machine with science. And
that'd be awesome.
Excuse me.
No, okay, no problem. So Nick, so it was good. They were all entertained. I guess enough for him to move on. So the next ones we're going to talk about are. You're back. We're going to talk about Billy and Emily England. That was an interesting act.
Oh, another weird brother-sister act. Here we go.
Okay. It was a weird brother-sister act.
Come on, bro. When you saw it, you're thinking like, oh, Brian's got it. He's not going to like this.
I knew that. I said, Brian's definitely not going to like this. But number two, they seemed odd for some reason. I couldn't quite put it together. I don't know. I was almost thinking maybe that they're lying about being brother or sister. Do you think they look alike?
I think they're super attractive people. I mean,
they said that out there for sure. That Heidi said they were nice to look at.
Such like attractive, sexy individuals, both of them.
Yeah, it was pretty inappropriate.
Which made it worse.
Which made it worse because they're brother and sister.
Right, they're brother and sister.
And I'm like, what's going to happen right now?
Yeah, and they're doing all
really
these
uncomfortable.
These moves that are definitely semi-sexual, and they look the way they do. I mean, she looks like when they go to Vegas, she's gonna fit right in, no problem. You know.
They both were very,
and he has that glorious beard, and like, oh. I feel
but you got to say something about roller skates, and for those of you that missed it, this is a roller skate act, which I don't know if anybody's ever. I mean, we've all been on roller skates. It's not easy to just spin in a circle by yourself, off in a little tiny circle, but to now carry someone's body weight and throw them around while you're on roller skates. I got to say, the act itself was quite impressive. The feat was impressive.
Yeah.
And they were previously on Britain's Got Talent, and apparently that didn't work out, so they came over here to be in America's Got Talent. So
yeah, what does that say about us? We have less talent.
A second chance, right? Come across the pond. So I don't know. That was a little bit weird. They obviously went through. I don't know what else they can do. I'm going to get really sick of seeing someone spin around in a circle on skates, even though skates are like crazy. It's better than the dancing acts.
It was better than the dancing brother and sister in a appropriate act.
Yeah, absolutely. At least these guys are on roller skates.
Yeah, it's more entertaining. It's still super weird, and
yeah.
The next act, Angelica Hale. She has the voice to win this thing hands down, and the story.
Yeah, did you see that coming? That was crazy.
No, her story about how she was problems when she was a kid and when she was younger, as like a toddler, and it touched my heart because my child is a heart child.
Right.
I have two kids, and my youngest one was born with a heart condition, and we were in and out of the hospital for years. And she's 5 years old now, and she's doing okay. Because medical science is amazing.
Right.
But when they told her story, I was like, been there, bro. Been there.
Yeah.
And I was expecting this kid, to sing like a kid. And then she comes out and she sings like the reincarnation of Whitney Houston.
Yeah, like a 40-year-old woman.
Yeah. And I'm like, the pride these parents must be feeling right now.
Oh, you can see it on their face, man. Those parents were humble, pride. I gotta tell you, I was surprised. I'm usually pretty okay with the golden buzzer moment at the end of each of these shows and who it ends up being. I'm like, yeah, that was probably the best one to throw it at. But I got to tell you, I thought this girl would have been the golden buzzer. I'm guessing that because we had a 12-year-old last week get the golden buzzer, they couldn't do it again this week. So that's why they didn't give it to.
I have my conspiracy theory on that topic.
Okay, well, I definitely think that Angelica Hale was probably the most impressive and talented act of the night.
Yep.
Yeah.
I said in my notes here, she has the voice and the story to win this thing, hands down. Holy expletive. Okay?
I completely agree with you.
And I was totally impressed. And when she didn't get the golden buzzer, like no one even reached for it, I was like, interesting. Well,
the golden buzzer always comes at the end of the show.
Right. And then I saw the last act, which we'll get to. Let's get to these next two real quick.
Okay.
So Angelica Hale, great. The three brothers with the nails and all that stuff wasn't really entertaining to me.
I didn't like it. I mean, it's impressive. I don't know how you put a nail through wood.
It's a little nuts.
Yeah.
But to be completely honest, I wouldn't pay to see that. I wouldn't watch it on TV. If they were performing for free outside my house, I wouldn't even burn the calories to lift up the blinds. I do not care whatsoever. about these people.
Wait. I wouldn't burn the calories to lift up my blinds.
Right.
That was awesome.
I went to do this.
I wouldn't burn the calories to lift up my blinds. Oh, we got to do something with that, bro.
Nope.
No, I wouldn't even check them out.
Yeah, I wouldn't. But they went through. You know.
I thought it was funny that they wouldn't talk. That was when they asked them like who they were, and they just stood there staring at them.
I guess that was sort of good. And then they were smiling though. Like if they weren't, they should have not smiled if they're gonna go with the whole tough guy act. But
at the end, yeah,
they're gonna be gone. These guys are gonna go into a hangar, and they're gonna be on the right side of the hangar, like for sure. No one cares.
There's a chance that they might let them do it again, but
because they're unique, maybe.
They showed them all. They do danger acts, so I can see them. You know, you're gonna see some people who are, shoving a knife down their throat or shoving something through their ear or doing some crazy stuff. We're gonna get a few of those. I don't like those acts.
I don't care.
Yeah, I've never liked those acts.
Don't care at all about
the
these
freak shows.
Yeah. Don't care at all.
Yeah.
All right. What about this next one? Because I like this one a lot, to the point where I had to go. I went to try to find him on YouTube. At Colin Cloud was legit good showmanship. It was a fascinating mix of profiling, real life profiling, and magic and sleight of hand to make this show that was legit impressive. I mean, I was impressed.
Yeah, no, I was too. I was totally impressed. I think that he's either, I'm starting to, the more I see these, I feel like I'm starting to figure out how it's done, and how they can, get it on the dog's chain, the answers that they came up with. I feel like you can almost do that. I don't remember hearing the name Oscar thrown out by anybody in the audience for sure, 100%.
Well, so I'm going to tell you what Penn said when he was talking. Penn, Penn from Penn and Teller?
Right.
I
met him, by the way. Nice guy.
Yeah. You keep rubbing that in my face. Thank you.
Do I?
Yeah.
It was cool. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, that's all right. I love Penn. He said something. He has a show called Fool Me. Mm-hmm. And I watch it religiously. One day we should do a recap of that if they ever come back. Anyways, cool. He said something. This guy did a very similar, not a similar trick, because this guy on his show didn't do the profiling part of it. But Penn said, "I know how you did it, and I don't want to say anything to lead the audience to where that answer is. But I'm going to tell you this, and you tell me if I'm right or not." And he goes, "There are not as many options as you think there are." And the guy was like,
right.
The guy was like, "Oh yeah, I didn't fool you. Thanks." And I'm like, okay, there wasn't as many options as you think they were last night.
Right.
And he was in control over where the options were every single time. He even got the coin thing was really impressive.
Yeah.
Because I don't know how he picked the right coin each time. He had to use legit profiling to figure out which coin was the right one. But he knew which coin was in which hand, right? So when he goes, okay, this one's blue and this one's red, or whatever it was,
right?
He already knew which coin was in the hand by looking. He profiled them, looked at where their body language led their hands, and then decided which color or what name or whatever was in the right hand. So it would be the right information.
Yes, I totally agree. He knew what names needed to select and where it was going to be. I don't think he said what the name was or the color or the animal until after they'd already made the choice as to which hand they were going to put the coin in.
Right.
And he was able to profile out where the coin was.
And that was where it's impressive. He was able to profile out and guide their decisions beforehand. That live in front of thousands of people on national TV with all the stress and all that comes with it. He's able to look at all those minute little details of where their eyes flicker and where their dilations and what their hands are shaking, whatnot, and know where it was, and beforehand select what that hand's going to be. That was really impressive.
There's two really cool things he did that I am not exactly sure how he did it. He called out the teacher for the lady in the front row, unless she was wearing a teacher's ring or something that we couldn't see. But the girl that sat behind Simon, he said, "You're thinking of a child and the last name is Miller." That's pretty impressive. Where do you come? I don't know where that one comes from.
So I have ideas that either they're plants.
Okay, but he did say we never met before. I mean, I guess it could be,
Right.
It could be a lie.
Either they're plants, or there's something specific about those people that he can see that we couldn't see. Like she's wearing a wristband or a ring or something like this that determines that she's a teacher of some sort. And the guy next to him, it would have been way more believable that they weren't plants if he was like, "You're either a police officer or ex-military," or something like that.
Right, that would have been.
When they showed the guy, I was like, "Oh yeah, definitely either a cop or military, right?"
Right, he did have that way about him.
Right. So either they're plants or there was something that we couldn't see that the cameras didn't show us that he saw. Maybe she's wearing something that had Miller on it. Maybe it's like "Rest in Peace Miller" or something. I don't know.
Maybe, yeah. That was impressive to me, though, especially. I mean, the whole thing was pretty impressive. He said Howie's nose was leaning to the right. He's going to choose the right hand. So, I mean, he kind of gave away. I like that he gave away a little bit of how he does it. It was good. I'm interested in seeing him. He was one of my favorite acts of the night.
Yeah, I was happy with him. And last, but certainly not least, the talent almost created for AGT. It seems like someone goes, "Here's all the check boxes. Super talented. A ridiculously sad backstory. Heart-tugging moments. Girl next door look. American as hell." And they made Mandy Harvey because there's no way that you give the golden ticket to Angelica Hale when Mandy Harvey is in the same show as you.
It's hard. It's hard to call between the two. I mean, it's what Mandy Harvey did is very impressive. Deaf people are almost always tone deaf as well. I think the only reason she's able to even do this is because she did have 18 or 19 years of singing and music, and then she has a background in it, and she's able to maintain, kind of muscle memory when you sing, your tone.
Oh, and her shoes being off, and she's sitting, standing on the floor so she can feel the vibration is really impressive.
So it's all really super impressive. But I'm with you. This is the way America's got. I mean, this is the way these shows always are. They're always looking for this. I mean, do you remember the chicken catcher from season 3? I think it was. The guy was, basically homeless, and he's, singing songs. He's an American Story. So I mean, I see why they do this. And what Mandy Harvey did was impressive, and she is a good singer. She's not as good of a singer as Angelica Hale. And does that matter when you're deaf? I don't know. Maybe the story outweighs the talent, or maybe I don't know. It's really hard to say.
No, they're both super talented though, and the fact that she's deaf only solidifies it. I mean, of course, the other girl, she's a kid too, 11 years old.
Yeah.
So here's the thing, though, I took away from last night with both these acts. When I saw Angelica Hale, I was like, wow, one more person like that, and I'm guaranteed to win that bet against Shane because she blows the lounge singer out of the water.
Right.
And then Mandy Harvey came on, and halfway through the act, I'm like, oh, I won this bet. No way. They keep the lounge singer chick from last week over Angelica Hale and Mandy Harvey.
Okay.
But then they gave her the golden buzzer, which means that golden buzzer probably saved your lounge singer next time she sings.
Well, I got to tell you,
because she's not going to compete with her. She's not going to have to compete with her.
Yeah. So all my lounge singer has to do is make it past the next level in order for you to be out of the comp.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
And she can't win.
She's got to make it to the live shows. She's got to make it to live shows.
Right. In order for me to lose, but for you to lose, that she can't win. Right.
She can't win. Right. So we'll start with you losing first, and then we'll get to mine. But I will admit that that
jump the gun a little bit on that.
Were better. I got to tell you, I do feel like she's going to be right up there.
Yeah, well, you're lucky that Mandy Harvey got the golden buzzer, because if she had not gotten the golden buzzer and it was between her, Angelika, and the lounge singer, they would have kicked the lounge singer out in like a record time.
And America's not going to vote against stories like that.
No.
And stories have a lot to do with it.
It's going to be like the fastest kick out of all time. It's like, all right, kidney problem baby that sings like Whitney Houston versus deaf girl that sings like whoever versus the lounge singer. Okay, lounge singer's gone. Have a good day.
Who sings like the lounge singer, whatever you call it, who sings like
Adele.
Adele, right?
Whatever,
there you go.
Right? Or you said
Come
Adele
on, you can't say Adele like that. I mean, Whitney Houston is awesome, but
I think Adele sounds better. I don't think she sounds like Adele.
Okay,
I think she sounds like a version of Adele, which we've already seen Adele.
hey, we don't worry. We're gonna have plenty of time to hash this out in future episodes.
Yeah. I obviously didn't like the lounge singer very much, so.
Right.
You know what I didn't like most? If she would have came out the gate with that second song, and that was her story, and that was everything, I wouldn't have such an animosity to her. But the fact that she choked, she got that very rare second chance from the judges. Very rare that ever happens. And then got 4 yeses.
Well, if you go back to American Idol, that's a pretty standard operating procedure from Simon Cowell.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. He was one of those guys who's like, stop. I can hear you have a great voice, but this isn't doing it for me. What else you got? So that was something he used to do on American Idol.
Oh,
so
that
not
makes sense. It's so rare on AGT. It's not something to see.
They don't do that on this show, but he's Simon Cowell. He does whatever the heck he wants. So.
Right. That's why when I saw it, I was like, wait a minute, that doesn't seem fair.
He wears $3 V-neck white T-shirts, bro. He's got the cheapest wardrobe on the planet.
They literally like this V-neck is more expensive than Simon Cowell's V-necks.
Right.
I don't know how that works out.
I don't know how he pulls it off. He's got white teeth.
Maybe they're tailored or something. Maybe they're tailored to his body.
Nice. Yeah, so what did you think overall of the episode last night? I overall had a great feeling, and I enjoyed watching it.
I was sick. I kept falling asleep during every commercial. Literally, like I would fall asleep and have to rewind it to where the commercial ended because I was trying to watch it live.
Yeah.
And after every act there's a commercial, and I kept falling asleep because I'm loopy. I do not suggest watching AGT live, even though it's better for the show. I gotta say, being able to fast forward through the insane amount of commercials is pretty helpful. Or having Hulu. Like Hulu just skips all the commercials. It's very nice.
Unless you're like me and you're too cheap to pay for the extra $4.
Oh, you didn't pay for the extra Hulu $4?
No, man. I sit there.
It's
you know what
$4.
I know, but it's the principle of it. It just drives me insane.
Principle of it? You're skipping all the commercials, man.
I know, but it makes me mad that they have 2 prices. I mean, honestly, it does. It should be free. They're gonna have commercials.
They should just cancel the first package and force everybody into the second package.
I agree. I'm okay with that. I would be fine with that. But the fact that it's not free, they make us watch commercials. They're breaking the rules. Hulu, you're breaking the rules. Hey, I wouldn't go to my front window and look out the blinds for you. Hulu.
You like that analogy, huh?
I love you. Stick your fingers up here and you're like, right here, out the blind.
Okay.
Fantastic.
All right. Well, listen, I will definitely go out the front window and open my blinds to subscribe to our channel.
Yeah, I would. I'd do that.
Check us out, youtube.com/mixtees, facebook.com/mixtees, twitter.com/mixtees, and of course, mixtees.com/popcast. We'll be back on Friday with a spoiler review of The Mummy. I know we're all looking forward to that, folks.
Not looking forward to that one.
Yay!
I'm hoping I'm wrong. I'm hoping I'm
desperately wrong because, to be honest, aside from being sick, that movie looks like it's work. It looks like work.
Looks like effort. Yes, you're right.
Looks like a whole lot of calorie burning. That's what it looks like.
We'll find out.
Yeah. So we'll see you guys on Friday. Stay tuned. Don't forget to smash that like button. button. Smash the subscribe button.
Smash the like
Hit that
button.
share button. Tell everybody how great we are.
Comment below.
Or even if you're sharing, they'd be like, hey, these fat guys are horrible. Whatever, a share is a share. I'll take it, man. I'll take what I got. And
you don't have to say that if you don't want to.
The few fans we have, we love you immensely. And we'll see you on Friday. Arrivederci.
Catch you Friday.